All right, this is a very, very, very good video. We're going to be talking about the three, maybe even four top crypto stocks to own in 2025 and even 2026. Okay, this is very important. If you guys remember anything, we were one of the first people. Okay, one of the first people. See, I'm not buying TradingView. There's no way I'm going to buy TradingView. I use one indicator. Let me restore my connection. Let me restore it. We were one of the first people to tell you to be getting into MSTR back when it was $30. Okay, it went all the way to 400. Matter of fact, we got in pre-split. They were going for like 300 bucks per share, and we were telling you it was going to get to 3,000. Okay, it went well above 3,000. It's at like 4,000 pre-split. Okay, so when I'm telling you guys, we're going to be looking at some amazing stocks that have the potential to make a whole lot of money, because that's the main thing you guys are watching, okay? I'm just being honest. You guys want to make some money, and these are going to be the stocks that are going to make you some money in 2025 and 2026, okay? We're going to be talking about the total crypto market cap, Loomis and the digital assets that she has, the bill that she plans on passing that I believe is going to pass. We're going to be talking about Mara, BitDig, we're going to be talking about some things, and even price targets, okay? I think price targets is one of the main things, okay? One of the best things that you could know is where a stock is going to end up going, okay? We're going to be talking about all that, and I don't even want to waste any of you guys' time. I really don't. So we're going to get right into it. So if you look at the total crypto market cap, okay? If you look at the total crypto market cap, you have a hidden bullish divergence that is forming on a weekly time frame. It's already playing out, okay? It's been playing out for some time now. If you're in the Discord, if you've been paying attention for a while, we were talking about it, when it was at its bottom right here. But it's going to continue to play out, okay? And minimum, I'm talking about, this is like, if it doesn't get to 4 trillion, the crypto market's done. You could see this getting to 4 trillion, okay? So adding on one extra trillion, but really that's like baby case, man. Okay, that's baby. If crypto does that and that's it, man, this isn't the market I thought it was. Okay, so I anticipate a market that is very, very euphoric, and I have price targets that take this to 6, 8, 9 trillion. I really do think the crypto total market cap can get to 9 trillion. I think what's going to end up happening with crypto is a euphoric type of move. Okay, I think this move is going to happen in the later stages of the year. I believe maybe October, maybe October, maybe November, maybe December, but I do believe that move happens in the later stages. But I believe it's going to get absolutely euphoric. So that means a lot of things for crypto mining stocks. That means a lot of things for crypto stocks in general and the crypto market. Okay, if this market goes up $6 trillion, where do you think all that money goes besides Bitcoin? Okay, because Bitcoin isn't going to take up the bulk of that. Okay, the bulk is going to be in different types of assets. Okay, you're already seeing it with people switching to Ethereum. They're now not copying MicroStrategy, right? They're not copying the Bitcoin model. They're going with Ethereum. I believe there's going to be a Solana one. So make sure you guys subscribe and like this video, because we're going to be talking about those as well when they do come out. But anyways, the total crypto market cap, chef's kiss. This thing is going to end up going. It's going to end up going. All right. Now, I thought this was very, very important. Okay. Loomis, the Senate Republic unveils digital assets taxation package. Okay. Cynthia Loomis. All right. She plans on exempting small transactions less than $300 from taxes, in addition to exempting crypto lending from taxes and deferring taxes on income generated from crypto mining and staking until the tokens are sold. So do you know what that means for crypto miners? That means if you're mining a Bitcoin, if you mine a Bitcoin, 120,000, there's no taxes. There's no tax. So you could essentially hold that Bitcoin, wait for it to get to 1 million. You know what I'm saying? I believe this bill is going to end up passing, but there's a lot of good things that are going to end up coming from this, especially for the crypto mining stocks, okay? But she says the lower chamber is expected to take up the crypto bills later this month. So maybe late July, maybe early August. We'll have to see, okay? But that is major bullish news when you're looking at something, when you're looking at crypto miners, okay? Mara, we're just gonna look at Mara, but Riot. Riot is another one that I think is absolutely incredible. But if you look at Mara and what Mara's doing on a weekly time frame, as soon as this ends up busting above $19.50, it'll give you some major price targets, okay? And these are just baby price targets. This isn't even where the fun this isn't where the fun starts. Okay? You're even getting some hidden bullish divergence on a weekly time frame. All right? So when I'm looking at when I look at this, okay? When I look and see what Mara was able to do, back here in 2021 when Bitcoin was at 69K. This was peak euphorium, okay? We haven't gotten to peak euphorium yet. We haven't even entered into euphorium inside of the crypto space yet. Now, to get these price targets, okay, just look what I'm doing, man. Just look what I'm doing. I take the fib, I take it from the top that Mara got in 2017 when Bitcoin went crazy was around $38, and then it went all the way to 32 cents. Crypto miners move crazy, okay? Went to 32 cents. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is if you scroll up and look at where the fib actually hit. It definitely hit that 1.618. And then it even took you to the halfway mark, almost to the 2.618, which would have been absolutely crazy. So these price targets that I believe we're going to end up seeing, you can do the same thing. Let me delete all this really quick. You can do the same thing, okay? Now, history usually repeats itself, okay? Or rhymes, however they say it. And if you look at where this will take you, it tells you that minimum, okay? I'm talking about baby case. I'm talking about a baby case. It tells you that this is going to get to $52, $53, okay? That's just baby case. That's peanuts. If it gets to $52, $53, it's like, all right, we expected that. But there's a move that could potentially be made back to all-time highs, which is around $83. It always gets back to all-time highs. And potentially to $133. And even, like, if we're just going off of what happened in the previous run, you can say this could potentially get to $165. Okay, now I don't want to spend too much time on Mara, but the price targets get absolutely nasty. Okay, now what should we be looking at in the shorter term? Price targets that we have to see it cross and get above, etc., to be able to take those next steps is really just $24, $25. All right, if they can get above $25, it then tells you that this is ready to get to 52 plus. If you don't believe me, we shall wait and see. The price targets are incredible. Let's move on. Don't want to spend too much time on Mara, okay? I could talk about the crypto miners all day because I really do believe we're going to make so much money on this. If you're in the Discord, you already know what we got into, okay? You already know what we got into. But the next thing and the shift that is happening is people copying the MicroStrategy movement, okay? And MicroStrategy is valued at over 100 billion. It's sitting at like 112 billion, okay? Now people are doing the same thing with Ethereum, okay? So Bit Digital shifts entire treasury to Ethereum and becomes one of the largest ETH holders among public companies, okay? The company raised approximately 172 million in gross proceeds and has deployed the net capital to purchase Ethereum, okay? Bit Digital sold approximately 280 Bitcoin and used the proceeds to purchase additional Ethereum, okay? They're going all in on Ethereum. They now have over $100,000 or 100, that'd be funny, $100,000 worth of Ethereum. They ain't doing nothing, but 100,000 Ethereum, okay? That's a lot. 100,000 Ethereum. And they're positioning themselves to focus to just be focused on Ethereum treasury platform in the public markets. They said Ethereum has the ability to rewrite the financial system, okay? Very, very important. And they intend to aggressively add more. I think that's very cool. I think that is the best thing that could have happened to Bit Digital, okay? They're now competing in a market that not a lot of people are competing in, okay? And I believe they have massive price targets that are coming to them as well. This is the most volume that it has seen ever, just this month. Okay, just this month, this is the most volume that it has seen ever. Okay, If we look at price targets on something like Bit Digital and where it has to start breaking above, okay, we can clearly see that this is why the fibs are so important, because you can just look like all I did was drop from the top and to the bottom, and it literally rejected that point. Okay, so this tells you this is a very important level at $4.22. But I'll tell you what, as soon as it breaks above that level, okay, as soon as it gets back above $4.22, this has nothing but open air to $8, okay, to $8, to $12. And what I really believe is going to happen, because we're going to look at the Ethereum chart after this, is this getting to $20 and potentially 50, 85. Yes. When we're looking at crypto miners, I'm telling you, these targets are not crazy. These targets are not weird. A lot of people, we're saying the same thing on PLTR. Now, yes, this is an actual stock, an actual company. But when we were talking about this at $20 and I was drawing these fibs, way back when, and telling you this is going to get to 140 plus, yada, 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 people thought those targets were crazy. But if those targets are not crazy. Especially when you look at where Ethereum can go. Okay, Ethereum now has Bitcoin is sitting at a range where it's more likely than not going to 2x here. Okay, if Bitcoin goes to 200K, I doubt it. Okay, it doesn't. Probably like 150K this cycle, maybe 160K, but it's not going to give you that 2x anymore that you were able to get, back here when MicroStrategy was getting into the game. They started that movement. They started buying up a whole bunch of Bitcoin. They own a whole bunch of Bitcoin. They're still buying Bitcoin. But it was 27K. Okay. Now, 2 years later, it's 111K. You're more likely than not going to get that 4 to 5x. But with something like Ethereum, you are looking at a 4 to 5x, 3x minimum on something like Ethereum. And when you own so much Ethereum, I mean, come on now, you can just do the math. You can do the math, okay? So when Ethereum starts taking off, which it looks like it's already starting, okay? Ethereum looks like it's starting to take off. You should then anticipate Bit Digital, to start going crazy. All right, so I think that is a very good move. And when you look at Bit Digital, the market cap is only $1 billion. It's only $1 billion. It's only $1 billion, meaning if this just gets to 10 billion, which isn't even 10% of MicroStrategy, this will be sitting at $35. And I'm positive you could be looking at some 2027 calls for Bit Digital, like $10 calls, for probably less than $300 per. All right, so look, man, you're where the money is made. You are where the money is made. This is a stock that I believe money will be made. Money will be made. But anyways, let's move on. Another interesting setup is SBET. SBET, they actually own the most, I believe, 205,000 Ethereum, worth over 527 million, making it one of the largest corporate Ethereum treasuries. The company follows the treasury model pioneered by MicroStrategy. Okay, they introduced the Ethereum concentration. All right, man. When we look at SBET, this company completely transformed itself, sort of like what MicroStrategy did. Okay, when these companies realize like they're about to go under, they shift, man. They about to go to the next hot thing. I mean, we saw with MicroStrategy. We're seeing it with Bit Digital and the SBET. They're a gaming company, and as soon as that news came out, this stock went from $2 all the way to $123, and the run is not done. Matter of fact, they gave you an amazing pullback. Now, I would have hate to have bought up here, but hold. If you bought up there, man, just hold and dollar cost average and more, because they own the most Ethereum. Ethereum is on the uprise. Ethereum has plans to get to 7K. Okay, definitely 5K. It has plans to 2 to 3x. And if you own that much Ethereum, you gotta hold. You have to hold. But we have price targets on SBET to you know, some insane price targets. Okay, first of all, as soon as this gets back above $79, it tells you this has the potential to get to 194, you know, even 400. Okay, I really believe SBET, if you dollar cost average into these stocks, there's absolutely no way you don't end up making something, man. Something. All right. So I'll be paying attention to these three. Even BMNR, like I'll even throw BMNR, and Tom Lee is, I believe he's like the advisor on something on BMNR, and I like Tom Lee. He's been very bullish, and you know he knows what he's talking about sometimes. So you know these are just a few crypto mining stocks that you should be paying attention to. Now, if you want to play it safe, you can always do something like Coinbase. You know, just getting into crypto. Now, Coinbase has ran up. I believe Coinbase gets to 600 plus. If you just want to be safe, yeah, you can get into Coinbase. You can even get into something like Robinhood, and Robinhood has ran up as well. Okay, Robinhood is gone. We were talking about Robinhood back when it was $34, etc. So I really believe crypto miners have the potential to go crazy, especially some of the stocks that switched to the Ethereum. They're copying MicroStrategy, but switched to Ethereum. And yeah. I wasn't gonna do this, but I'll give you guys a gem. Since some of you guys stuck around for so long, you could literally just get into this one right here, okay? You can get into the December 19th $25 Mara calls. Okay, we got into these today. All right, and I bet, man, I bet you'll end up making some money. Okay, we're already making money. I think they're up like 20% or something like that. But you can still get in. I think they're a great entry based off these price targets that we have. But anyways, guys. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Share this with a friend because you want your friends to make some money. And you know, we'll be talking about a bunch of other stuff, okay? We'll be talking about so many other things. There's so much game to drop on here, and we'll be dropping it all. All right, but we'll check back. You know, we'll check. The funny thing is, the market is the market is the market is the market, and we'll come back to this video, and I don't even think it'll take a year. I don't even think it'll take a year. And we'll come back and be like, dang, bro. We beat the dollar. You know, we didn't hold our money in the savings. We invested our money and was able to beat inflation. All right. But anyways, man, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.